You are listening to Forged Among Stars, a solo RPG actual play podcast presented by DiceGeeks.com. Welcome. My name is Matt Davids. I will be your game master and only player during this season of Forged Among Stars. I am a tabletop RPG writer, game designer, as well as a novelist. I thank you so much for joining me as I play through Ironsworn Starforged, a tabletop RPG designed by Shawn Tomkin. If you would like to learn more about me or the game, please check for links in the description wherever you are listening to this podcast. Now, it is time to journey among the stars. Hawking Duval cannot resist the idea of him being in a room possibly filled with data storage, and that he cannot take at least one of those bits of information. So he slides the data storage chip out of its slot, or what he thinks is a storage chip, and maybe something else. He slides it out of the slot, then looks to the creature at the end of the room. All right, so I'm going to roll on Ask the Oracle here to see if it's likely that this creature is a guardian of this room. And if it is, with the removal of that chip, it will come alive. And Hawking Duval may have a fight on his hands. So here goes the roll on the Oracle. Well, I made the chances likely that the creature would come to life because it was the guardian of this room. Well, I rolled that it did not, even though I did not have a very good chance to make that roll. So Hawking Duval has been spared that peril. But it said that there were dangers that lurked in this room, and I think that we should at least have a chance for something else to happen. So as he pulls the chip out, maybe there's a chance that there is an explosion in the room. Not like a huge explosion, but one that's strong enough to burn Hawking and hurt him, if that would be the case. So I am going to again say, let's roll on the Oracle, or ask the Oracle, I should say. I'm still getting used to game terms, guys. So what are the chances of there being an explosion? Let's say this is 50-50. So we'll ask the Oracle, is there an explosion when Hawking pulls the chip? No. Wow. Okay, I thought we were going to have a fight, or there was going to be an explosion. And let me tell you what, guys, I am not fudging these rolls. Occasionally, I will re-roll on some of the random tables if the item is a repeat or it seems too wild to make it fit in the situation. I've done that a few times, or I've chosen a few results, but I never do that on rolls that will hurt my character because I think that is disingenuous, and the peril to Hawking Duval is real, so I just want to let you know that. But we have been rolling well for Hawking's sake here. He has one chip in his hand, though. I think there would probably be a 50-50 shot of an explosion every time he pulls a chip. So Hawking has another decision in front of him. Does he pull another chip, or does he get going before the earthquake happens? He is very tempted to pull another chip. He takes the chip that he'd pulled and he slides it into an interior pocket of his brown coat. And he looks at the other chips and he pulls another one. Yikes. And yet again, there is no explosion. Hawking Duval just breathes a sigh of relief. He takes the other chip and he slides it into the pocket with the other one on the inside. And he thinks he is pressing his luck now. And he is going to head out the other doorway and try to find a way out of this vault with the knowledge he recorded in the sanctum, and now with 2 chips, data chips, who knows exactly, in his pocket. So this is where I have to roll on undertake an expedition again to see what happens. We'll use wits because he's slowed down and he is moving carefully. So let's see what happens. Okay, well that is a miss with a match. My momentum will not save me. So this expedition, or this leg of the expedition, did not go as Hawking had hoped. So I need to roll on pay the price, and I do not get to mark progress. So with a match, I guess I'll roll twice, maybe? Or no, I'll look up, I think there's a twist table or something like that. Let me look that up. I'll roll on pay the price, and then I'll see if there's another type of twist table that I can kill my character with here. Okay, so well, I just rolled twice on the pay the price table. The PDF talks about narrative twists on matches, but I don't see a narrative twist table. Maybe that's something I could create since I create random tables. But anyway, for right now, what is going to happen is, since I rolled on the table twice because of the match, I rolled you are delayed and you waste resources. So what I'm going to say happens is that as Hawking Duval runs out the other door, and this hallway or corridor here is semi-blocked, and he doesn't want to go back. So what he does is it's kind of semi-blocked with a door that maybe like a round door that isn't functioning properly after the eons being down here. And what he has to do is it takes him a while working at this door, but it takes him some time, and he has to use up some of his supply to like prop it wide enough open that he can slide through. He does that, so I will bring supply down to 2, and then as he wastes time, so I will roll for the first time to see if the earthquake happens. I will ask the Oracle for that as well. Okay, so the earthquake doesn't happen, which is good. However, we have been delayed, and now we have reached a waypoint, but we didn't get to mark any progress or anything like that. Hawking could explore this waypoint, but oh gosh, this is getting very, very dangerous, and he is getting lower and lower all the time. However, this is why he has come here, and so Hawking Duval may be a fool, but he is going to explore this waypoint a bit. Okay, so another weak hit. We do get +1 momentum, which is nice. We're up to 5 there. Like I said, we do get to mark progress, I believe. Now again, guys, I'm kind of playing fast and loose. I'm still learning this game, so bear with me through all my mistakes. Hopefully I'll get this ironed out and I'll be able to play by the rules one day. On a weak hit, it says something that reveals, it's either a peril or something that reveals an ominous aspect. So what I'm envisioning here is that Hawking Duval is coming through these corridors, staying vigilant, and he comes around one of these honeycombed passageways, and he sees on the ground what would be the approximation of the head of one of the remnants, and it's just been ripped off of its body, and there is like acid of some kind just pouring, kind of dripping out of it. Not pouring, but like dripping out of it, and it's like smoking. He just has no idea what is exactly going on in this place and what these remnants have been up to for eons, long since their masters and creators have passed away and out of the world. So this is creepy, and Hawking Duval moves along on another stage of his expedition. Okay, we're rolling wits again on Undertake Expedition. We got a weak hit. All right, so another peril or something, but we do get to mark progress, so that is good. All right, so here's what I'm imagining on this. I'm not going to consult any tables for this one. What I'm going to picture is that Hawking Duval, after he's seen the head of the creature, he comes around through some of the other twisting passages, and he stops short because in front of him is one of those guardian creatures, the humanoid oil slick type creature, with its back to him, but it is raiding, if you will, a body of another one of its kind, a headless body of its kind, and it has its back towards Hawking Duval. Hawking Duval quietly unholsters his pistol, aims it at the back of this creature, takes a deep breath, in his mind says, "Monarch, I need your help right now. We may not get out of this alive." And he hears a whisper back, "I understand. I'm with you." So as Hawking Duval gets ready to fire, he feels his concentration and his energy improve, and he aims carefully at this creature in front of him. What I'm calling on here is I'm calling on the symbiote trait, so I get a +2 to the roll. It will be using edge, and the move will be battle, because I want this to be over really fast. I want one shot to the brain stem, if biomechanical ancient guardian oil slick humanoids have brain stems. But he's going to take a shot at this creature so he can get around him and get out of this precursor vault. Well. So I was rolling +5, which is awesome. And our challenge dice came up snake eyes. So our challenge dice came up 1 and 1. So that is a match. And I got a strong hit with a match. So the book says I achieved my goal unconditionally and take 2 momentum. So this is very good, but also the match is going to introduce an opportunity for us. So I'm going to check that table as well. Okay, so our momentum becomes 7, and I rolled on the opportunity table because of the match, and it says salvageable resource. So what I'm going to say is that I don't know exactly how this works, but with the 2 dead bodies there or in the hallway, there is some kind of equipment that he is able to take as a resource that will help him. So I am going to bump our supply back up to 3. So we get that just a little extra resource there. Now Hawking Duval is going to move. He is going to undertake expedition, rolling edge. And we're going to try to get out of this vault because I have another earthquake roll coming up. But he doesn't know that, but I do. But you know what I mean. He is going to get out of here. This confrontation with these creatures is getting too much, and he needs to get out of here. Okay, so we got another weak hit. I don't have enough momentum to overcome it. So we are just in a slog here until we can try to accomplish this expedition. So one more chance here with a peril. So I rolled on the peril table, and it says a hazardous path meant to be traversed by other beings. So what does that look like? Maybe it's a path that can only be traveled by these kind of human oil slick remnants. Maybe so. And what would that look like? Maybe it has big pod places where they could place their, instead of their feet, they could place pods. And so Hawking has to jump between those each time. That sounds about right. So are there any moves for this? Let me check the rules. Okay, yeah, so Hawking is going to do the face danger move to try to get through this path. Maybe if he steps outside of the pod marks or the path, he gets shocked or something like that. Maybe there's energy crackling around these things, and he's got to hop between these pod markings that are bigger than he is, wider than his gait, so he has to kind of hop between them. So we're going to face danger, and he is going to use, what would that be? Would that be edge? That would be edge, so we're going to make that roll. Well, and we rolled a miss. However, I have enough momentum to turn that into a weak hit, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to burn my momentum. That'll put me back down at my reset value of 2, and I will have to take a suffer move in which, oh gosh, I will lower his health to 2. So that is done. I am going to roll to see if the earthquake happens. Okay, well, some things happen here. That was an interesting roll. Very small chance of that happening, but wow. Okay. So here's what's going to happen. Here's a few things, and I'm going to try to represent these in fiction. We have 7 progress on Escape from the Vault. We are going to go ahead and finish an expedition. So I am going to roll that move. I have rolled against the progress track, and I had a miss. So this is where in the rules it says that the expedition is lost to me, or I discover the true nature of the expedition. I could abandon the expedition, or I'm going to recommit to it with a cost. The problem is this expedition was to get out of this vault. If I abandon that, I don't get out, right? So he's going to have to recommit. This requires a number of things to happen. So I roll the challenge dice and remove the lowest number from my progress track. So let's do that. Oh my gosh. Well, thank goodness I rolled a 10 and a 1, so I get to roll and remove only 1 block or 1 progress mark from my bar here, but then I also have to make this go from formidable to extreme. Hawking Duval is in a bad place. His spirit is low, his health is low, his supply is low, his momentum is all but spent. Now we only have 6 boxes on our Escape from the Vault expedition on the progress bar. Hawking Duval thought he saw the doorway up ahead, but it was just an illusion. There are still honeycombed passages all around him. He's still racing up and down one after the other, trying to find an exit from this precursor vault. He is now not relying on vigilance, he is relying on speed. He's trying to find his way out of this vault. We will undertake an expedition again. A weak hit. We face a peril. But I do believe we get to mark progress. So I will do so now, even though it is only 2 ticks. Hawking Duval runs through these slick-looking, roundish corridors in a bizarre honeycomb fashion where he is confused. He's just getting confused and losing his way. He's trying to find his way out. He's got to get back to Echo. He's got to get back to the Shard of the Sun with this information that he has to fulfill his vows. But he is being pushed to the limits. And as he runs through a corridor, he sets off a trap. And that trap swings up with a wicked serrated blade, which slashes at Hawking Duval's leg, and it sends him flying and crashing to the floor with a bloody leg. I will lower health to 1. As Hawking lays there on the ground, as he picks himself up, looks at his leg and it's bleeding, looks back at the trap, wonders what kind of demented, cruel being built such a trap, takes a scrap of cloth and ties it around his leg a bit as a makeshift bandage. And no mechanical advantage there or anything, it's just kind of flavor. So he kind of stops the bleeding a little bit and He looks around him, knows he must have still a long way to go to get out of this vault. And just then, at that moment, the corridor, the vault, in fact, the entire world begins to shake, and tremors seize the corridor, kind of like truck trailers banging together up and down. Bang, 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 bang. Hawking is tossed around. He knows what's happening. At first, he is caught off guard. He doesn't understand what is happening around him. But then he realizes the earthquake. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Forged Among Stars. Please consider subscribing to the podcast wherever you are listening to it so you never miss an episode. Another episode will be out soon, but until then, I will see you among the stars.